Good afternoon, classmates of the Books and Tea Reading Club. I'd like to start introducing myself. My name is Antonio Martinez and I'm your classmate. The subject of my presentation is a novel. I'm going to talk about a novel written by this author, Ian Mcewan. Well, I don't want to say a lot of things about this novel, just the basic facts. Firstly, I want to talk about the title, Enduring Love. Well, in English, the adjective enduring has two meanings. The first one is lasting, where the author is talking about a lasting love. The second one refers to unwanted, something we had to undergo. I had been looking for a web page called nonovel.com and I have found how to introduce characters in 6 memorable ways. The first one is the backstory introduction. For instance, we have David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, where the narrator introduces himself by telling the reader about the death of his father only 6 months before his birth. This introduction is very effective because we, the readers, emphasize with the character, and the introduction is also relevant because the author offers key plot points. The second one is introducing characters through other points of view. We have, for instance, Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, this novel about the colonization in Africa. The author introduced the character Curse in stages, showing other characters talking about a dubious character before they arrive builds suspense. The third one is showing a typical action. We have Miss Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and for instance, we have the character of Clarissa, who decides to buy flowers herself, showing her take-charge nature. It is simple and effective. We can learn a character's passion, hobbies, occupation, or another detail relevant to their story. The next one is introducing a character on the cusp of change. For instance, we had White Teeth by Sadie Smith. And by this way, we have how the author can show a character in a dilemma about to make a life-change decision, propels the story forward. In this case, in this novel, we have the introduction of the character Archie Jones attempting to kill himself. Conveys Archie's psychological state. The next one is to introduce the characters themselves directly. We have Holden Caulfield in The Catcher in the Rye, introduction by Salinger. This type of character introduction is particularly common in first-person novels, where the main character is also the narrator, revealing their personality and they are believable. Another way of introduction characters is through description. We have On Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, where introduction characters give readers the detail they need to picture them. The author includes identifying dress, physical features, facial features, body type, etc., or any characteristic movement. And finally, we have Ian Mcewan way, the mother of all other methods of introducing characters. Ian Mcewan, in this novel, Enduring Love, introduced all the main characters in this novel through an anecdote in the first chapter. Well, in my opinion, the most important thing in this novel, the most shocking, the most overwhelming characteristic is the character's introduction. Well, I want that for a moment we are going to put ourselves in the shoes on an author. We are in front of the blank page. How can we introduce our characters in a memorable way? In a way that the readers are never going to forget these characters? We have the movie about this novel. Here are the main characters, the couple, the protagonists of the novel, in a picnic, and suddenly there is an anecdote. There is a balloon and which is dragging a child, and suddenly all the characters are introduced and they all try to save the child. We know, the readers, we know all the characters in the first chapter. And I think that this is the most overwhelming way to introduce characters in a memorable way. Well, that's all. Enjoy the novel. Thank you very much.